Good morning, kids. It is Mr. Ag, and today we've got a small group of you who are staying home for virtual learning, and this is your math lesson for today, Monday, October 5th. We are starting a new unit today, so we are going to focus here on, in this unit, on place value and problem solving with units of measure. And the first thing that we're going to be working on is units of time. We are going to work on telling time on the clock. We're going to work on understanding how long seconds and minutes and hours are. And we're going to do some problem solving related to time. So we're going to get started by looking at how is time measured. Well, as time passes, it can be measured in units. And so I've made a list here of time units from shortest to longest, and these aren't all the units, but these are the main units for the shorter time periods that humans deal with. So we start here with seconds, which are pretty short, minutes, and then hours, and then days, and then months, and then years. And you may or may not know that you can divide seconds up into smaller portions, and you can also multiply out the years by tens and hundreds and thousands. So 10 years is a decade, 100 years is a century, 1,000 years is a millennium, and it gets even bigger than that. But we're going to be focused mostly here on seconds, minutes, and hours. So you should know that the time units fit together in a very specific way. So looking at it in terms of which units, how many of one unit equals another, we've got 60 seconds equals a minute, 60 minutes equals an hour, 24 hours equals a day, and then the months are a little bit odd because they're not all the same length, but they're all right around 30 days. February is 28 days, and then the rest of the months are either 30 or 31. We know that a year is 12 months. We also know that a week is 7 days, and that there are 52 weeks in a school year, or not a school year, in a year. In one decade, we've got 10 years, and 100 years, we've got a century. So on the analog clock, when you see a clock like this, so one of the things we're going to be focusing on right off the bat is telling time to the nearest minute. But we're going to start by telling time to the nearest 5 minutes, okay? And so it's very, very important that you understand what a clock face, what the parts of a clock face are. So we've got this is called an analog clock face, where you've got the numbers and you've got the two hands. You've got one hand is a long hand, one hand is a short hand. And it's hard to remember sometimes because it's weird. The minute hand is the long hand. It counts the minutes. But the hour hand, which is a longer period of time, is the shorter hand. It counts the hours. So it's kind of odd. This short one it counts the longer period of time, so it moves slower on the clock. The long hand counts the minutes, which are shorter than the hours. So we've got the long hand is the minute hand, the short hand is the hour hand. And you'll see that some clocks actually have a second hand, which is usually thin and a different color sometimes. There are all sorts of clock varieties out there. But the main thing that you need to focus on is one hand counts the minutes and one hand counts the hours. Now the numbers can be a little bit confusing because it's basically like two time scales here. When you're counting the hours, each number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 12, stands for a whole hour. So this would be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, but the minutes are different. The minutes, you see these little lines here, these little tick marks here, each one of those is 1 minute. So if you count them from the 0, the 12 would represent the 0 minute. So this would be 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. So the 1 stands for 5 minutes. And each number stands for 5 minutes as you go. So this would be 1 times 5 is 5 minutes. 2 times 5 is 10 minutes. Okay, so we could just skip count by 5s and go 05, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And you notice the 60 mark, we'll never say 60 when we're telling the time. We'll say 0 or o'clock. Okay, so A thing to notice about the number hand or about the minute hand is that it's always listed in 2 digits. The hours isn't always listed in 2 digits, but the minute hand is always listed in 2 digits. So when all the way up to 10, you have a 0 in the tens place. So if the minute hand was here, it'd be 301, 302, 303, 304, 305, 306, 307, 308, 309, and then here is the first time you get 310. You get a 1 in the tens place here. But you can see we list when we're writing the time or saying the time, we do the hour first and the minute second, and they're separated by a punctuation mark called a colon. Okay, so here we've got the way you tell the time is you count the hour first, so you look for that shorthand first, and I see that the most recent number that it's passed is the 3, so it's 3, and then I look for the minutes, 3, and this is closest to the 5-minute mark, so it's 3:05. So I changed the time on the clock here. I'd like for you right now to try to see what you think the time is. Sometimes it can be pretty tricky because the hour hand doesn't point directly to an hour. You got to remember it always goes to, you always say the most recent number that the hour hand passed. So this hour hand hasn't made it to the 2 yet. So we've got to be in the 1 hour time. So we would say 1 first, and then we look for the minutes. So we're looking at this hand here. So we count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we would name the hour first, 1, and the minute second, 25. So it would be 1:25. Let's try another one. How about this one? I'll let you look at it. Remember, you're going to try to name the hour first. Look at the last number that the hour hand passed. The shorthand is the hour hand. And then the minute second, count by 5s. Start at o'clock, 05, 10, 20, 30. I'm sorry, 25. Oh, I started counting by 10s. That's a trick that you might slip into. I was thinking about something else. I'll start over. We've got o'clock, 05, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So the most recent hour that passed is 4. So I would name 4 and then 50 minutes, 4:50. Remember that the minutes are always listed in 2 digits. Okay, so I've got 2 more times for you to try out here. This one here, look for the hour hand first. What's the most recent time that it passed? And then count up the minutes by the 5s. 05, 10. What's this first one? And then the second one should look very, very familiar to you. We work on these first. In the earlier grades, we work on o'clock. When you've got one that is pointed directly, when you've got a minute hand that's pointed directly at the 12, we say o'clock. So we name the hour 8 and then o'clock. And that's listed as a 00. Okay, so for your assignment today, you're going to click into the 3rd grade math live link here. Or that's actually how we're going to talk to each other today. The week 8 assignment, your assignment is going to be here in the week 8 assignments for 10-5 through 10-9, and I'm responsible for math and word study only this week. So when you click in there, you'll see that I've got a math folder and a word study folder. So for math, today's Monday, tomorrow there will be a Tuesday. You've got a Module 2, Lesson 1 homework. It's in Kami. Okay, so anytime you see this, that means it's an assignment that is assigned to you. You'll go into Kami. You'll go into the link. You'll open the assignment with Kami, and you'll see that this is the homework from your green book, but I would prefer that you do it here in Kami. And so you can see right here, don't forget to use the text-to-speech feature to read the text to you, but the first problem deals with seconds. So this is the shortest period of time that we usually talk about. And I'll just give you one hint here. The lower the number, the shorter the time period. The higher the number, the longer the time period. Okay, so they're asking you questions like who's the fastest? Well, that you're looking for the shortest time period for the fastest. Then the slowest, who's got the highest number of seconds? That would be the slowest. And then how many seconds faster? You would take the highest, or you would take Samantha's time and subtract Louis's time. So how many seconds faster is a comparison problem. When we have comparison problems, we subtract to find the difference. Okay, so how many seconds faster is Samantha than Louis? Well, we'll take 19 and 24, and we'll take that 24 and subtract out the 19. So you'll actually write the equation in here and then answer the question. Here they give you a problem that allows you to use a stopwatch. You can find a stopwatch on any smartphone. So if your parents have an iPhone or an Android or any other kind of phone, your aunt, uncle, grandma, big sister, big brother, if you ask them if you can use the stopwatch feature, it asks you to list activities that take about 30 seconds, about 45 seconds, about 60 seconds. So for example here, they gave you tying your shoelaces might take you about 30 seconds. So you get to put whatever you want in here. Just try out some things for the 30 seconds. For the 30-second time period, set the stopwatch for 30 seconds and try some things out. See how long it takes you to do certain things. And you can use the text box here to type in an activity that takes you 30 seconds and an activity that takes you about 45 seconds. Notice it says about. That doesn't mean exactly. It means near that time. Okay, moving on, it asks you to match the analog clock with the correct digital clock. So you're going to use these clock faces, and they throw in this super long skinny one here. That's the second hand. The super long skinny one here, that is not going to be on these numbers. The numbers are the hour on the left side, and then after the colon here is the minute. So it's hours and minutes. So this time here would be 7:05. So you're looking for the clock face over here that says 7:05, and you're going to draw a line using I think it's easiest to use the shapes and the line feature here. Right here, I can just go ahead and give you one of these. You've got 7. This one the hour hand has passed the 7 just barely. In this one, it's at the 11. In this one, it's almost to the 3. They're already trying to trick you here. This hour hand is not to the 3 yet. But here we've got the hour hand that's just past the 10. So you really only have one choice here. The hour hand is the shorter one. It's a little bit thicker. It goes just past the 7, and then we can count the long minute hand here, and it goes 00:05. So this is 7:05. So I'll use my line tool here, try to get it all on the page, to match up this first time. Whoops. With 7:05. And you'll do the same for the other times as well. Good luck. Enjoy your time telling. You might even have someone give you some more practice times to show on the clock. And I hope you enjoy this lesson in learning to tell time and practicing telling time. We will continue this practice as we go through the first part of this second unit in math. All right, enjoy and do your best.